Welcome back to this special Friday edition of the New York Sports Exchange, episode number 176. And the New York Knicks are still alive. There's still some glimmer of hope left. We're still alive. Knicks forced a Game 6 last night. What a win.
Yeah.
What
My brother was at the game. Crazy game.
What a win. What a win going to the finals. Stanley Cup final is set. The Panthers taking on the Oilers for the second straight year. Again. Baseball. Yankees, red hot. Take on the Dodgers. Big weekend in the city and state of New York. Whole lot to go over. Juan Soto still struggling.
Mets are struggling and they're still winning. So
They're still winning.
We'll figure it out.
You know, you want to sweep a team like the White Sox, but
you really do. You do. I know they made those close. I mean, I don't know how you beat Adrian Hauser 2-1. You saw him all last year, and you won on 2 sack flies. So I don't know, but yeah, a little bit of rough patch, but we're getting going. Going to the game tonight.
Breaking Met news of Shoma Naya expects to begin a rehab assignment in early June.
That's big. Okay.
It's May 30th. So soon.
That's big.
Soon. That is
we
big.
got to get McGill. If you're a Mets fan, you got to get Taylor McGill out of this rotation. I cannot stand him pitching.
Yep.
I can't stand him.
Needs to go. All right, let's start it. Knicks force a Game 6. It felt like this game, and it kind of blew my expectations because especially after the Game 4 loss, and, you know, they tweaked the starting lineup. Instead of Josh Hart, now it's Mitchell Robinson at the 5, Cat at the 4. What blows my mind with this game was just how dominant they were.
They completely took Halliburton out of it.
Yes, and they picked up Halliburton on that. You could just see the adjustments. They picked up Halliburton from 94 feet. Imagine if the Knicks had a bench and, actually utilized that bench. If you had on your bingo card for that game the entire Garden chanting Landry Shamet,
you would think it's 2015.
You'd think it was. I don't think he even played. I think it was more. You'd think it's 2019. Landry Shamet, whole Garden chanting for Landry Shamet. I'm old enough to remember when the whole arena chanted for Brandon Jennings in a preseason game.
That's a throwback.
That is a throwback. That's a throwback right there. But yeah, I mean, just a perfect game. Not necessarily a perfect game, but the adjustments were made. You know, Bridges did a great job guarding Halliburton. Jalen Brunson hitting 6 of his first 7 shots in the first quarter.
It was something like that.
He dominated the first quarter. Did his thing in the second quarter despite not being 100%. And the thing with Cat was he didn't have that signature 3 that he always has in every big Knicks win. He was going downhill. And especially not being 100% healthy with the knee injury. I'm very pleased what I'm seeing from Karl-Anthony Towns. It really felt like from last year to this year, from both last year to this year especially, compared to years before, you can see the sense of urgency. This is a matured basketball player.
Yeah, 100%.
We will see this from Anthony Edwards in 5 years.
I think, listen, the Knicks' entire team played with so much desperation last night, which they've had to have been doing. I mean, if they
have to be.
They shouldn't be at this point right now. And they showed up big time. I don't know. Can you keep Halliburton? What, he had 8 points in the first?
I think he had 8 points for the game.
Was it the game?
I think so. Tyrese Halliburton. Let's see. Last night, Halliburton. 8 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists on 2 of 7 shooting.
Right. So can you replicate that?
Half of his points came from the free throw line.
Right. So
can you replicate that on the road?
Question. That's the real big question.
We'll see. Here's the thing. There's a lot of it went from Landry Shamet chants to Nixon 7 chants, and you just gotta focus on the present tense.
You have to win games. There's no you don't win. You're out.
Imagine if the worst thing that you can do is to give a team hope. And it felt like as soon as Towns got that and one with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left, where, it was Bridges to Towns in the corner, Towns pump fakes the 3, gets Turner to bite, drives, goes in, draws the and one, and then Carlisle just completely cleared the bench. It almost felt like it kind of reminded me of what we did in Game 5 against Boston in the second round, where it was like, okay, this game's out of reach.
Roll over, let it. Yep,
we're still up. Let's just roll over and just let it be.
Well, they had the luxury.
Now we did that. We did that with like 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Right. They did it with 2 minutes left. But I'm really liking what I'm seeing. I'm liking this new and improved rotation. DeLon Wright is the new backup point guard. If I had to see campaign minutes once again, I was probably going to die. And I just love that the theme of this series has been like, oh, we're down 20. Let's go. We're going to come back.
Right.
We're up 20. Fuck. Like, I think we're screwed.
I think the comeback's out the window when you go back to Indiana. I think you're going to have to go toe-to-toe with them the entire game.
You have to.
You can't go down. You go down 15. Because think about this, Stan. You go down 15 on a team that's about to go to the NBA Finals for the first time, like, ever.
No, since 2000. 2000.
It feels like forever.
This century. It's this century, though.
All right, well, you're a Knicks fan. Sorry, I have 2016. I have that lingering in my mind. But, like, really, this is going to be a loud building for a city that, has been building up towards this. They thought they can get it done with Paul George. Now they finally have the team, and if you go down the Knicks by 15 in that third quarter, I think it's just completely a wash. I think that's when it gets out of hand. And
what I've noticed in between the first 4 games, like as the series has gone on, the Knicks have gotten better rebounding defensively. Game 1,
rebounding 100%.
Yes. What I noticed from Game 5 last night to through the past 4 games, really, the Knicks have sort of been able to slow the pace down and the Knicks were able to slow the pace down in Game 5.
That's what you need to do.
Games 1 through 4, it seemed like that they wanted to. I mean, Game 3, I know there was only 207 points scored total, and they held Indiana to only 100 points, which in today's league and with this team, it's a fucking miracle.
Honestly,
to this team, it's a fucking miracle to hold them to exactly 100. I know we held them to under 100 last night. But it felt like that they didn't want to get into a track meet with Indiana.
Well, they're not going to win.
That's their strength. And that's their whole...
You cannot play to Indiana's strength. Exactly. If you get in a track meet with the best transition offense in the NBA, that's fine. If you get in a track meet with the best transition offense in the NBA, you're not going to keep up. It's like trying to power skate with McDavid. Like you're not going to keep up. It like pace-wise, it's just not going to work out. You have to play to your strengths. They're slowing the game down, which is what we said going into this, Dan. The only way they win the series is if they slow the pace down. They finally slow the pace down, and look what's happening.
And rebounding, and the rebounding has gotten better.
Exactly. Now they need to be perfect again. I mean, this isn't.
Yes,
you can't take the foot off the gas. You can't win this game and then go into being like, oh my gosh, that was easy. We could do that again lightly. No, it's got to be same desperation. It's do or die moment like this. We got to come out flying, and that's what they have to do.
I also don't understand. And now, like, we can praise Tom Thibodeau all he wants. We can praise the coaching staff all he wants. And it's great. Knicks played 10 guys last night. That's unheard of in the Tom Thibodeau system.
Doesn't happen.
That is unheard of in the Tom Thibodeau school of coaching. I think Kenny Smith had the best line during halftime in Game 3, where he was like, if Tom Thibodeau wouldn't play 9 guys on a baseball field. Like, that is, no.
He wouldn't.
He would not play 9 guys on a baseball field.
Take the left fielder out and put him in right center.
Really?
Right,
put him in, in between second, 25 feet in between center field. Yeah, super second, exactly. But you change the starting lineup to have a more physical presence. And I know Josh Hart's physical, and there's nothing wrong with that.
He's not big enough.
He's not big enough, number one. And here's Mitchell Robinson, and I know he gets into foul trouble, but he's gotten better at it. I just don't understand. What's the point of changing the starting lineup if you're just going to give Josh Hart 40 minutes and Mitchell Robinson 20?
Yeah, I don't
understand that.
Maybe it's just a tempo thing. I don't know. Maybe he slows the game up initially. Because if you let Indiana get in their footing immediately...
I'll be honest. I know Josh Hart has had a double-double within the past 2 games. It wasn't clean. There were some turnovers in both Game 4 and Game 5. No,
to his standards. To his standards,
standards, he hasn't. And I love Josh Hart. I think that he's really, established one of the main contributors that have established this Knick culture and what this New York grit and toughness is all about. But
that being said, he is probably the most replaceable guy in that starting on your team.
Probably, yes. And also, there is not a fadeaway mid-range that Mikal Bridges does not like.
Siakam.
I mean, I think Bridges is worse.
Yeah.
The guy had a wide-open layup in Game 4 with a bum Aaron with Aaron Neesmith with a bum ankle right behind him, and he dribbles in a circle and does a fadeaway jumper and like front rims it.
Play to the strengths.
Yeah. Also, Neesmith too. The guy with the fucking ankle injury, and they were all talking about him on fucking Sports Center and shit like he had an incurable disease before Game 4. Here he is, looking like prime Jordan, fucking dunking all over people and hitting threes. What drugs is he on?
Have you enjoyed watching Obi Toppin at all? Is he what you think? Do you miss having that around?
Someone tweeted this the other day. Obi Toppin played that game last night like he was playing Horace Greeley on a Wednesday afternoon. Like it was not. And shout out to Section 1. I'll pop that tweet up onto the YouTube and I'll put it on there. But my God. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know. He's explosive though. I mean, he's
explosive. He hit the dagger 3 in Game 4. But
that being said, when he's on the floor, you let him shoot. That's the game plan. You space out wide and let him shoot.
I mean, Reggie Miller and Stan Van Gundy said on the broadcast, it's professional basketball. You don't leave anyone open. I feel like that's I don't know why they're giving TJ McConnell like a
okay, I wouldn't give TJ McConnell that. I will say though, I mean, I've watched Obi Toppin miss like 11 open threes in a row.
True.
I don't think the closeout needs to be as hard on him. TJ McConnell, I wouldn't give any space. He's a shot creator.
But still, they're professional basketball players. It's not like...
Well, I mean, they're playing for the Knicks, dude. They're all playing 48 minutes a night, so...
That is also true, yes.
you got to pick and choose those closeouts.
Yeah, but I think going into Game 6, I feel like the mentality was sort of, we're just taking it one game at a time. And that's sort of what I felt in the Boston series when we were up 3-1, and it was like, okay, like I can live with losing Game 5 as long as we win Game 6. If it goes to a Game 7, we're fucked. If I'm a Pacer fan right now, I'm not worried. There's like a little bit of ounce of nervousness just because like, hey, we're home, we're favored. We saw what happened on our home floor last time. If you lose Game 6, can you imagine Game 7, Madison Square Garden, trip to the NBA Finals on the line?
It'd be insane. But let me rebuttal with this because I said this earlier to someone. It would be the most Knicks thing to do to win this game by like 40 and then go back to the Garden and lose by like 35 and just get blown out at the Garden. That would be the most Knicks thing to do.
That is also true. Yes, that is also very true. I will be in the city on Monday if it goes to a Game 7.
My brother was at the game last night.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to be at the game, though. I'm actually going to be working because I so desperately need the money.
Got some earlier. Needed that.
Yes. Need that as well. But anyway, yeah, we're still alive.
We could flip things to the OKC side of it. Utter domination. I mean, I just don't...
Is this the greatest team in the past 15? Not greatest team, I apologize.
No, I think that Warriors team still might beat them, but...
Greatest defense within the past, 15 years?
It's absurd. They spaced the floor defensively, unbelievably. And I feel bad, Stan, because saying this is not I know we've been talking about this whole series. The Celtics were going to win. They lost. The Cavs were going to win. They lost. Okay, see, I don't see a world where they lose the NBA Finals. I really don't. I just don't see a team beating them this year. It's just one of those years. It just feels like one of those years.
I'm aware of that. Yes, I just think it's the depth. It's the depth that really matters, and it's also look at. Every guy that's come off the bench, and we can talk about this with Indiana too. OKC can lean on different guys. If it's their type of game,
8 different guys, dude.
If they need size, they have Jalen Williams from Arkansas. If they need if they need 3-point shooting, you got Isaiah Joe. Aaron Wiggins gets rim pressure.
Throw someone in the torture chamber. Just
Eric Williams. He can go from not playing 10 games to hitting
10 threes?
10 not over-exaggeration with the 10 threes, but I know what you mean. On any given night, someone on the Oklahoma City Thunder
mention Chet Holmgren. We didn't even mention that.
Chet Holmgren, for God's sake.
So I just think they're just so deep, and they're all cap-wise. I mean, they played this perfectly.
They're set.
They're not paying any. They're not paying any guys.
They're forcing turnover. They're forcing so many turnovers in the playoffs alone. They force the most turnovers give up the least amount of turnovers. That is a plus 6% turnover differential. That is 2 times higher than the team in second place, and they have forced 100 more turnovers than they've given up.
It's insane.
That's absurd.
Insane. It's the hands-on defense, and they again constructed this roster beautifully. Every single one of them, like all their 10 guys that they can rotate, they buy in defensively. There's no off possessions. There's none of that. I think.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say Karl-Anthony Towns takes some off possessions, but you see some possessions where it's like, all right.
He took it off possession last night when he flopped to the ground and
and I
to get back on
just don't see that. They have 5 guys always out there committed to closing out every shot, and they pride themselves on that, which is why I think they're so good, because that's what they establish themselves as. We are the best defensive team in the league, maybe all time, and we're going to make you feel hell. Like, you're not going to be able to get anything going.
I also want to say this. What does this say about the Denver Nuggets? Going off the OKC
What does this say about Nikola Jokic? I think that's...
Denver Nuggets
were Aaron Gordon away from winning.
Fired their head coach a week before the playoffs started. Had to ride with their interim head coach, who they now just hired as their full-time head coach.
Well, he did a good job.
David Adelman. Well, yeah, no shit. They went to 7 games with this team when OKC swept the Grizzlies and they just fucking manhandled Minnesota. This team went to 7 games when everyone counted them out and basically being like, fire their head coach.
Well, I mean, it's Nikola Jokic. I think that's
Jokic.
What it is. It's Jokic.
They were an injured Aaron, a healthy Aaron Gordon away.
That's what I'm saying. They were Aaron Gordon away from
possibly winning the series.
And I think we flip it and you go to this series. I think they would have manhandled,
Minnesota.
Absolutely.
Maybe.
Dude, I think Jokic is I think we underappreciate how good he is. I think we really do underappreciate.
I think we do as well. But also, like, the health thing, what if they did win that Game 7, let's say...
talk about a team with no bench. Even if, who cares they won that Game 7? They don't have a bench either. Like, they were running those guys all game.
Yeah. So, I still can't believe the big argument was Jalen Pickett or Russell Westbrook.
That shouldn't be a thing.
That shouldn't be an argument.
No.
Like, Jalen Pickett's good, but that just shouldn't be an argument.
Not for a team who just went to 7 with OKC. That shouldn't be an argument. But
do you feel that there's going to be like an Adam Silver, like a David Stern moment? Because if we remember, Kings were up 3-2 on the Lakers going to Game 6, and we had the chance of a Sacramento Kings New Jersey Nets finals, and David Stern was like, nope. The Lakers are going to shoot 45, what was it, like 45 free throws or something like that?
I think it was almost like 50. It was absurd. Every
almost
play
50.
was a foul, yeah.
And then the Lakers go on to go to the finals, beat the Nets.
We'll see.
There's a possibility that we could see an OKC-Indiana final. And now I understand that Indiana is like the basketball capital of the world here. But let's all be honest. There's a chance you get an immediate ratings boost as soon as the New York Knicks go to the finals.
I will say that. But you do get increased media coverage also if they don't, because then everything on First Take and everything flips to what are the Knicks going to have to do better?
That's
what do we
true,
do next
yes.
year? I think the officiating already has been horrendous in this Knicks series, so I don't know how it could get much worse.
I need a Scott Foster officiated game like it's crack in the 80s.
He's just the worst. He is the worst.
The Knicks do good when he's
I know, but
we're like 5-1 with him.
It's unbiased just watching him. Watching him and Tony Brothers is like, geez Louise, dude.
The Zach Sarba guy, I can't stand. The Italian guy, he did the game last night, and I was ready for a fucking disaster.
It's just been bad. I think just NBA in general, when we do get to the NBA Finals, you got to clean up the officiating. It just has to be better. It has to be better. It's almost unwatchable at some points.
Yep. Okay. That has been the NBA. Let's go to the Stanley Cup. The Stanley Cup final is set. Second round. Florida Panthers, Edmonton Oilers. Let's start with Edmonton first, because I just want to talk about Dallas pulling Jake Ottinger up 2-0, down 2-0. Sorry, after they go down 2-0 in the first period,
on the first
two shots of the game,
and then you see what? Yeah, you take it away.
Just to have, I felt so bad for Ray Ferraro that he had to fucking stand there
right next and
Jake Ottinger's next to him, and he's basically just talking about him getting benched and pulled.
He's yeah. But did you see what they did? Did you see what they did when they sent him back out there and then they go no and they pulled him back off DeBoer? It was after a TV timeout. He was like getting ready to go. He's like, come back.
Is this the beginning of the end for Dallas? Because they have to pay a lot of guys, and I don't think your main priority is to pay Jason Robertson, and you have a lot of debt guys. You got to let him go.
Yeah,
like Duchesne, you got to let go. There's a bunch of other people as well.
I think Duchesne had a hell of a year. I think he maybe takes a discount just to stay. I think he really does enjoy Dallas. I've heard multiple interviews with him just saying how much he enjoys living there. But I think you might be right, Stan. I think a lot of things went wrong for Dallas in this series. I think one, Andre didn't play his best, but pulling him after 2 shots in a must-win game, I know you lost 3, but
get ready for this. The Dallas Stars have $4.95 million of salary cap space with Matt Duchesne, Michael Granlund, Jamie Benn, Dadonov, and Colin Blackwell as UFAs. And you have Bork. What's his first name? I'm blanking on what his... Anders Bork as an RFA. $4.95 million in cap space.
Yeah, I think when you list off those names, though, I think they do still have a lot of young guys that can come in and fill those roles. Obviously not a lot to the extent of what, that's pretty extreme, but I think they 100% bring Duchesne back. I think you go through some cap loopholes and make some trades, move some guys. I don't think they run it back with the same team. I think this is just as disappointing as it gets again for this, because you really, they beefed up, they got better,
this has been the theme, and we'll get to Carolina. This has been the theme with Brind'Amour and DeBoer, where it's just been they are outstanding coaches, but they can just never get over that hump.
It's this Western Conference triangle where Dallas can beat Colorado, Edmonton every time beats Dallas, and Colorado beats Edmonton, but they never end up,
together.
Because you go 3 years ago, Colorado beat Edmonton. Year after, Edmonton beat Dallas or whatever. Yeah, and the same thing. And then they had Dallas beat Colorado this year, Edmonton beat, it's just this whole triangle.
It's just how it goes.
And they can't figure it out. But now we're going into another McDavid Stanley Cup final, Stan. I want to give props to this Edmonton team. They've been fantastic depth-wise. Corey Perry has 20
Especially
goals.
Now with Zach Hyman being out for the year.
Right. And I think also, is Sam Bennett coming back? What was the...
I don't know. Let me follow up on that. You can keep going.
I think
follow up on that.
For Edmonton, the depth has been unbelievable for them. Corey Perry's 40 years old. He looks fantastic. He's putting pucks in the net. They got Matthias.
Sorry, I looked up fucking Sam Bennett, and I'm getting tweets about the golfer. I don't want to. I don't need to talk about the golfer now.
I just think the depth they're playing with's been great. And I know they have spotty goaltending, but everyone's showing up. This really may have just been a clash of these two were just the best 2 teams the whole year, and we were just ignoring that. And now they're going to play off again.
I haven't heard much. I haven't seen anything on that contract.
We'll see.
He's a UFA at the end of the year.
Who's Sam Bennett?
Yes.
No, injury. I think doesn't he get hurt in his foot?
Yeah, he's injured. No, but he's injured, but he's a UFA at the end of the year.
Oh, is he? Oh, yeah, he is a UFA at the end of the year, 100%. Yeah, no, I know that for a fact, but he is. But regardless of that, there's few injuries on both sides. I don't even think we really need to talk about Florida Carolina that much. I think if you watch that series at all, I think Carolina's got some problems.
You gotta be a fucking you must be through, and I feel bad and Tim, you're gonna fucking make fun of me, but because I told you the prophecy was fulfilled. John Shire sounded the siren.
Yeah.
I feel bad for my fellow Duke fans that are also Carolina Hurricane fans, because what a rough couple of months.
It's just been...
I can be right there with you with the first half of that, which is a plus, but just being a Canes fan right now, I think you can talk about how good you are, and you have such a great core, but at the end of the day,
figure it out. And then you go to the last 4. What are they? They're 1-16 in their last 17 Eastern Conference Final games. I think it gets to a certain point where you have to look in the mirror and be like, I just don't think this team could do it. I think Toronto's in that same situation where they kind of got to look in the mirror.
Is it a Brind'Amour thing, or is it just the group of guys that they have just can't do it? Because I think Rod Brind'Amour is a top 5 coach in the sport.
I think he's a hell of a head coach.
Top 3.
I think the way his teams play, and he does a great job of having everyone buy into the system. I just don't think that the way these guys are fit to play. I know it worked out in the whole year, but when you get to playoff time, they're just not as big. They're not as strong. Like a team like Florida, and that's how they play. The Carolina likes to play that gritty, hard-nosed, power forward game.
Exactly, yes.
And they just got beat up. And I think you have to make some adjustments and adapt. I think maybe you go with a new
and
core
also
of guys,
this is a completely new roster from last year's roster. Because I remember when the Rangers played the Hurricanes, and everyone was like, "This is kind of it for this Carolina team."
Right, and then
here they are.
They add a bunch. Well, they add a bunch of new young guys, and it's like, all right, like maybe this is the answer. But then again, you go with these young guys, and they're great during the regular season. I mean, Taylor Hall's a veteran, but again, he's a skill player, same kind of style. And you go against a team like Florida, where they got their third lines just beating you to shit, and now you're like, oh, we got to bounce back, and you just couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. They go up 2, they give 2 back in 30 seconds.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a mess.
Tough. It's a tough scene, but we are all Oilers fans, I think. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Stanley Cup Final, Game 1 Wednesday in Edmonton.
Listen, I would be rooting for McDavid if I wasn't in that futures pool where if Florida wins the cup, I would.
Shit, you have Florida. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Okay.
Pulling for him a little bit.
Realistically speaking, this is the big stat here. Since 2017, every team to eliminate the Toronto Maple Leafs in the playoffs have gone on to lose later on that postseason. The proof. Capitals lost in the second round in 2017. Bruins lost in the Stanley Cup in 2019. 2020, Jackets lost in the first round if we're counting the COVID bubble, play-in, whatever. Yeah. Canadians lose the Stanley Cup to Vegas in 2021. Lightning lose the Stanley Cup in 2022. The Panthers lose the Stanley Cup in 2022. The Bruins lose in the second round of Florida in 2024. Panthers took down the Leafs in the second round as well.
Listen, I think we could be looking
for. I'll say this: I'm rooting for a trilogy, and I just want someone like I don't want it to be like a cat. I hate to bring up the past, Tim, but I don't want it to be like a Cavs Warriors fucking 4 straight. Which is obviously how do we get through that?
But I barely got through it, but I mean, you would just go into those games and be like, wow, we're going to lose. But regardless of that, you go into this series, I think this gives me a lot of like Pittsburgh and Detroit in like the 2009s and 10s when they played against each other back to back in the Stanley Cup final. And
my mind immediately went to football.
No. Detroit won the first one. Pittsburgh won the second one. I think we're kind of looking at a similar situation. That being said, I really thought Carolina would put up a better fight. This Florida team just looks so complete. They look so complete. They play almost a perfect game.
A part of me wants Florida to win. Not only for you, Tim, because you get
it'd
money.
Be nice. It'd be nice.
It'd be pretty nice, yes. It would just suck it to those fucking Bruins fans.
We'll let Marchand. Yeah, I know.
Wins the Stanley Cup.
And then he'll stay if he wins a cup. They have 19 million cap, by the way. You want to look at a team that's done everything right. I mean, they've done everything right. Yeah.
Yeah. Unreal. I think Edmonton gets it done.
They went to 7 last year. I think goaltending was a big part of it. Edmonton really turned it on when it was down 3-1. I mean, they had to, and McDavid was unbelievable. I think McDavid kind of got a taste for that Stanley Cup play, but then you flip it to the other side, and it's like, listen, they did it last year. Florida, they kind of know what they need to do.
Yeah.
They know a few guys are banged up. Kachuk's a little banged up. I don't think Barkov's played better in his career. I think he's been fucking phenomenal.
Nothing short of incredible.
And then you put a guy like that who, again, we've been saying is probably one of the most underappreciated players in the NHL for a long time. He's a great two-way forward. You match him up with McDavid, it's going to be trouble for him. I know you can't stop McDavid, but slowing him down is really the key. I think this is going to be a hard-nosed series. I think both these teams they're big teams. When you look at these teams, they're big, strong teams. It's going to be physical. It's going to be fast. I don't think there's going to be as many goals as people think. I think there's going to be a lot of chances.
Yeah, there's going to be.
But I don't think there's going to be a lot of goals.
How about Stu Skinner, though?
How did they get away with this? Because you look at you look Sergei Bobrovsky's in the other net, and you got like this rotating Calvin Pickard, Stu Skinner Ferris wheel over here. That's just we'll figure one of them's going.
We'll figure it out
right before game time. We'll just tell the other one he's going. I mean, it's unreal.
I kind of hope McDavid gets one though. I'm gonna go with the Oilers for this one.
Yeah, I'm
rooting for the Oilers.
I could see the
Oilers. Did I just call them the Oilanders? Holy shit!
Yeah, you did.
The Oilers.
I think this goes to 7 again, and I don't know which way Game 7 goes, but I think this has 7 written all over it. I think both these teams are hungry. Yes. They want another taste at this.
I think if he does get a ring, McDavid, third?
What?
Third greatest all time?
All
third?
Time? I think
one ring. And this is insane. Just like if he just gets one.
I think one would really solidify him in the top 5. Third, I don't know if I could put him there yet. I would still have Crosby ahead of him just because how fucking good Sid kid is. So it's like you got that gap, and Lidstrom's pretty good too. There's just so many guys, but that would really solidify his name around that top 10. He needs it. He needs it more than anyone. Let's be honest here. I know we talk about legacy for a bunch of people, and I know hockey's a little different than It's like football and basketball. But dude, he's got to win. I mean, he's got to win.
He just
all the greats have won. All the greats have won.
Yeah.
So
they have.
He's got to do it.
Crosby's
got like 4. I mean,
I know. Yeah, he fucking so desperately needs it. All right, let's go to baseball. Let's start off with the Yankees. The Yankees are taking on the Dodgers for 3. Definitely one of the bigger series that's going on this weekend. There was a stat that I saw that I was going to read, and now I forgot. I misplaced it, so now I have to write it, and now Twitter is fucking down. So that's awesome. Yeah, great job. Way to go. Yeah, but all right. Yankees are hot. They're red hot. Aaron Judge is the best player in baseball. That seems like he's definitely going to win another AL MVP. It feels.
Well, it's May. I mean, hopefully he doesn't get hurt, but Jesus. It's May 3rd.
Knock on wood. I will aggressively knock on wood. He actually started like getting advice from NFL players on like how to stay healthy and like how to be durable. And it seems like it's paying off. But let's see what happens now that he's at the place that, destroyed his fucking toe 2 years ago. But trying to think, there was dude, I had like a whole. I'll read them on my computer. Hopefully, this freaking works right now.
Sorry, Scanlon's texting me where Rumplemints is and ShopRite Liquors. I'm just like, dude,
Rumplemints?
Yeah, have you ever had Rumplemints?
No, I haven't. I actually do have to make a stop to ShopRite Liquors because it's going to be
good.
It's going to be a late night, considering that the first pitch of the Yankee game starts at 10 o'clock. But yeah, Yankees are red hot. I think I just said that again.
Well, I mean, there's no reason to not say it. They're hitting the ball well. Now, has the pitching been as great as you would want it to be? Now it is.
Just imagine if Garrett Cole was healthy.
Think
about that. Think about how special that rotation would have been if Garrett Cole did not have Tommy John surgery. It seems like we're winning games in different ways. Wednesday night, 1-0 win. And it was off of a Volpe sac fly in the 8th inning.
The Mets did that the other day too. I can't stand games like that. I hate one. I can't do it. You got the 1 sac fly. Dude, just get on base. Just get a hit, please.
Well, we got on base.
That's
how you got this fucking
Get an RBI single. Get an RBI single. The Mets went on 2 sac flies the other day. You think I was happy about that? They had bases loaded. They couldn't get a hit. Stan, the Mets are hitting 214 with runners in scoring position, all right? I think I have a right to be a little upset about that.
That is, all right, fair. We're winning games. Our starters are dominating. It feels like if we scored 3 runs, it's like, okay. And that's a good feeling. There's no better feeling than that. You put up 3 runs, you're not like, that's not enough. Fuck.
No, it's where you want to be.
Where you want to be. Devin Williams tried to blow it. There was that.
You got to figure him out a little. I know he's getting better, but
he is. I just think that he's not a 9th inning guy. He was an 8th inning guy.
I think Pete Alonso fucked him. I really think he did. I think Pete Alonso really got to his head.
He was always an 8th inning guy.
He was the best closer that year. He was unhittable in the 9th inning, and then he let up 1 home run. Now I will say it's the confidence shaking a little bit, but if he's fine in the 8th inning, it's a great pickup. I mean, that's where
it is.
Luke Weaver's a good closer.
And I know we used Weaver, the past 3 games, so he wasn't available. And then, we didn't use Williams in the 9th in the 1-0 game. We ended up asking Mark Leiter to get 3 outs.
You don't want to have to do that, though.
He's actually been pretty well.
I know, but you should be able to ask Devin Williams to get you 3 outs in a 1-run game. You got to be able to do that.
Also true. Leiter got the benefit of a gigantic missed call, or a call that should have been a ball, but it was a called strike 3 and it ended the game. I think you would have put 2 more baseballs on the outside, and it's like
still not touching the plate.
Still not touching.
Just got the corner.
Yeah, it was bad, but win's a win. You'll take it. So yeah, 3 against. What I've loved about this Yankee team right now is that stories are coming out. It feels like we got our ALCS rings.
Nice. They make those?
Yeah, I guess I found that out. This was gonna. I mean, I have 5 when I saw, so I'll spoil one of them.
Well, I don't even know if I mean, the one I saw was pretty egregious.
Speaking of rings, Georgia Tech got a ring for a 9-win season in football. It was ridiculous.
Ring?
Yeah,
they won 9 games.
Yeah,
that's like an average year.
I know. It's whatever. Giancarlo Stanton was basically very adamant in the locker room. He was like, this isn't the one we want. This is not the one we want.
I don't even know. Why do they make those, though? What's the point of making them? You won the American League?
Anthony Volpe didn't even want his ring. but like he had to take it, so he just like gave it to his dad. He was like, "Here, fuck, take it." And then Yarbrough, who was on the Dodgers last year, and we'll get to Ryan Yarbrough, has to like hide it from everyone. Has to hide his World Series ring from everybody else.
Wait, let me see that.
No one wants to see it. Like no one wants to fucking look at it.
I mean, I wouldn't want to.
I wouldn't either with the way that we lost Game 5.
I don't like remembering that, but I should.
I don't like remembering that either. But I'm liking this. This is a motivated team. And it feels like now, and Joel Sherman said this on his podcast where he was like, the Yankees are out for blood for this series just because of what happened in October, what happened after, where Joe Kelly was like, oh, we knew that they sucked at fundamentals and like all this.
I fucking hate Joe. Joe Kelly's a real pain in the ass sometimes.
Yeah. And now, Judge is playing his natural position at right field. What's his name? Trent Grisham, who is a natural center fielder, is playing an outstanding center field, hitting the ball well. Paul Goldschmidt is turning a lot of errors by Peraza at third and Volpe at short into outs. This is an improved Yankee team, despite Juan Soto not being on that team. But still, I feel like this team is very much improved. They've addressed the things that other teams and other players have been calling him out on. Poor base running, poor fundamentals. I feel like I've heard none of that this year.
No, you're off to a hot start, but how can you? I mean, the start you had.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm looking forward to this series. Who do we have? So it's Fried, Warren, and Yarbrough against Yamamoto. So that could be interesting.
Split. I mean, take the win. We won the series. You win the series.
Yeah. Fried, Gonsolin, Warren, Knack, and then Yarbrough, Yamamoto. We've also won 8 straight series, I think.
Well, here's your chance to win 9.
There's a chance to win 9, so we'll see. This is a big one coming up. Now, we go to the Mets side of things.
Pitching has been, let's just talk about this first. They have a team. All right. I mean, that's number 1 in the MLB. It's been phenomenal. Hitting. I don't get it. I really don't understand. I don't know what. I know they're struggling. They seem really in between pitches. And we're winning ball games like 3-1. Like we're getting wins.
It's just ugly wins.
I know, it really ugly. And Mark Vientos said it best. He goes, if this is us playing at our pretty bad, imagine what we're going to be like when we figure it out. And I think that's really where they're at right now. I know Alvarez has been terrible. Vientos.
Yes. Oh my God. What happened?
I don't know. Vientos has been awful. McNeil finally figuring it out. I really like what he's been doing of recent. I mean, just the young guys, they haven't really shown up like they did last year. Beatty's figuring it out, which is nice to see. I think I hate this Jacob Young guy. He's 30 years old. I mean, I really don't like this guy. I know he had a home run the other day. I really don't like him. I think Ronnie gets a nod in a few weeks. I think they keep pace. I've been hearing really good things about this clubhouse, though. I'm loving what Lindor's been doing. Is pretty much the captain. I mean, they might as well just make it official. I read a thing today is after every series, he goes up to every teammate's locker and he just talks to see how they're doing, see where their head's at. I think that's a really big thing for a team, especially one that's, faces a lot of scrutiny and a lot of comments in the media. Keeping a level head's a big thing. So if they can just figure out the bats, I think this might be the series to do it.
We'll say this, though. You guys do have the same record as the Dodgers.
Oh, yeah. No, we're winning games, Stan. We're
winning games.
We're in a good spot. It's just you're not doing it pretty, and they could be a lot better. They could be a lot better.
I just saw this stat. Buster Only just tweeted from Sarah Lang. With the Yankees and the Dodgers facing off this weekend, if and when a Yankees lineup with Judge, Bellinger, and Goldschmidt faces a Dodgers lineup with Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman, it'll be the first time in Major League history that a game has 3 former MVPs in each batting order.
Crazy. Mets don't even have...
Goldschmidt didn't win it. It's like 3 years ago when he won an MVP.
Oh, I know.
It's not like...
I know.
It's not Bellinger like he won one in...
Bellinger won his further in 19. He won it.
Bellinger's 18 was
18,
Bellinger.
Yeah.
Bellinger's been nothing short of incredible. I'm loving the resurgence from Cody Bellinger. Same thing with Goldschmidt, too. I don't even think we could call it a resurgence at this point because he ended the second half at St. Louis so hot. And then, they didn't make the playoffs, so we didn't really get to see what he was made of in October. But I'm loving what I'm seeing from Goldschmidt, too.
You might need to start towards the end going a little half and half with off and on days. I mean, we saw what happened with JD Martinez. They're about the same age. That second half drop off the All-Star break was pretty egregious. So
also, there's the issue of Stanton coming back. What do you do?
Well, then you platoon, let Ben Rice and I mean, unless it gets to a point where you're like, all right, we can't even have Stanton
Goldschmidt's second in average, and is it all of baseball?
Right, but also, I mean, when is Stanton coming back? He's coming back in a month, probably.
I haven't heard. Goldschmidt is fourth in baseball in batting average, hitting .347 behind Jacob Wilson of the A's, Freeman. But I haven't heard much of Stanton.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, they if they don't need him, then you don't need to bring him back. But also, like I said, it is May 30th. You know, things do happen. If we go back to this day a year ago, Jorge Lopez is throwing his glove into the crowd at the Mets after they blow a lead. So I think you take a little bit of grain of salt. I think if we get to July and he's still batting top 10 in the league, top 15 in the league, then what's the rush of even putting Stanton in the lineup? Because if Ben Rice is hitting, then what's the point?
Yeah, like there's really there's an article that's out of them talking about benching Ben. No sources or anything, but it's like, hey, if Stanton comes back, what the fuck do you do with him? Guy's hitting .242. He's got an OPS of above 800. 851's his OPS, and someone is this is a dumb article. Never mind. I'm stupid.
Well, you're just. I think
it was. Do you want to know what they? It's not even like source. It's just a guy suggesting. What if they just benched Austin Wells, who's hitting .205 right now, and then put Ben Rice at catcher? Because, Ben Rice was a catcher at one point. He's caught some games before, but not in like fucking one-run games.
Do you start catching him now? I don't think that's even worth it.
No, I don't think you start catching him.
No.
And now there's...
Don't you wish you had Luis Torrens?
He's
throwing runners out at like a 50% clip, dude. He's got a cannon back there.
That's also true. There is another... Jazz Chisholm, rehab assignment in Somerset the other day. He also said... he said to the media the other day that it looks like he's going to be playing third when he comes back.
That would make most sense, wouldn't it?
That would make the most sense. And then who would play second? Would they just put Peraza at second?
You got a lot of questions that need to be answered. But I think
there's a lot of
these are good problems to have. I
know, and I feel like we've said this all the time within the past 2 years, 2 seasons really, where it's like, okay, this guy's hurt. This guy's replacement is red hot right now, but then what do we do when he comes back?
Right, and the Mets are seeing that same situation with Luis Torrens. You don't want to play Alvarez because Torrens is batting well. I think if Winker comes, well, we kind of need Winker back. The DH spot's been a little iffy.
Yes.
But Marte's bat's getting hot. I think they're starting to put...
Beatty's done well.
Beatty is the best player on our team right now. In the month of May, he is the best player on this team. I'm not even kidding. I'm not, and I am the biggest Beatty slanderer in the world. He has been the best player on the Mets in the month of May. Defensively, he's been outstanding. I don't even think you want to look at Vientos anymore to play third, but the way that Ozzie Smith's over there has been playing. I mean, he's been fantastic. And then you go to his bat, he's got the same amount of home runs as anyone in this month. So like he's been pretty phenomenal. I think there's a lot of pieces. Ronnie Mauricio, who I speak so highly of, and I still think he's the best.
You love that man.
He's got 3 home runs in the last 7 games of Syracuse in his last. So I mean, he's been a phenomenal piece for them down there. I think it's only a matter of time before he gets called up. He still has the hardest hit ball in Mets history, Statcast era.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean he's got an electric bat.
How fat?
I'll look it up. I think it was like 116.
In the meantime, let's go around the league. Let's talk about some people. P. Crow Armstrong, Tim.
Oh my God, I don't even get me started.
I know. 3.1
He's the best center fielder in baseball.
Leads the National League. He's on pace for 42 home runs. 42. He's on pace for a 40-40 season. He's up there with the best could finish as the best outfielder defensively in baseball stat-wise.
Stan 117.3.
Ooh.
And he was 22.
Oh.
Yeah, so he can he rips the ball.
Other guys. Corbin Carroll. 15 home runs. His bat speed has improved. That shoulder injury that he had last year,
switched his swing.
It's kind of behind him. Switched his swing. He ended the year red hot, remember? And if he didn't suck, I knew a lot of people that had him to win National League MVP.
He had a slump, but
he had a major slump.
But this might be a
sophomore slump. Then, no need to worry about him now, I feel. But Tim, for your point of view, James Wood, 920 OPS. He's 22. He's he's our age.
What a deal for them.
22 years old. Great plate discipline. He's still he's not even reached his full potential yet, which is absurd.
But they and then Washington did the right thing where they're molding those guys up through the MLB. They're like, listen, you're just gonna figure it out up here, and this is what we're gonna do. And it seems like it's been working.
Yeah. Surprise team. The Detroit Tigers.
Are they a surprise though? Made the playoffs last year.
Best record in the American League. Skubal.
Baez.
Some could say he's the best pitcher in the American League right now. Others could argue for Max Fried. I don't blame arguing for Max Fried. I also don't blame arguing for Tarek Skubal as well.
I think I got the reigning Cy Young winner.
Never forget.
You picked it.
I picked it. I was like, fuck yes, Skubal. Like, let's just say it. Tigers, they were, sort of a Cinderella team last year. Going into the All-Star break. 0.2% chance to make the playoffs.
They pulled it together. They really pulled it together.
They made the playoffs. Had a great Cinderella run. Beat the Astros in the wild card round. I feel like Detroit doesn't get enough recognition just because of the market. Look at who's managing that team. And get back to me. Let's all not pretend what AJ Hinch did in Houston. I know it's barred with the scandal, but
it's just turning teams. It's turning ball clubs around. And you know what? They're finally getting it from guys like Torkelson's finally becoming a player.
Torkelson
finally
is incredible.
I thought he was never going to pan out.
He's having a big breakout year. Riley Green and Kerry Carpenter are fucking dogs. Reese Olson. He's got a sub-3 ERA. You got that from a guy like Reese Olson? Come on now.
They just got a ton of guys.
Baez, 800 OPS. He's playing fucking center field.
At a Gold Glove level.
At a Gold Glove level, yes. Oh my goodness. But then, to a team that we thought was going to be one of the best teams in baseball. They are now one of the worst teams in baseball. By a wide margin, the Orioles fucking suck.
Yeah,
they are terrible.
Losing the pitching was really a problem. They cannot figure anything out. And also, I said Adley Rutschman looks more like Matt Wieters than he does Buster Posey.
Yeah,
so.
The rotation's terrible. Charlie Morton has a 7 ERA. Zach Eflin with a 5 ERA. Dean Kremer, 5 ERA. Cade Povich has got like a sub-4 ERA.
But their lineup at this point just isn't what it was last year. You're missing Santander so much.
The offseason was a disaster. But even though, honestly, if they had Santander, I don't think he would have done that well because Santander's not doing that hot in Toronto right now.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, just the way I look at this team and I look at their lineup and the way it's just everyone's having a sophomore slump season at the same time. It's like, what? Like, and I mean sophomore slump and like, wow, these young guys are really having a bad year. It's just none of them are putting it together. None of them.
Yeah. So, I mean, we haven't really talked much baseball, but, we mentioned Max Fried, AL Cy Young favorite right now. Kyle Tucker, who was traded from the Astros to the Cubs. 12 home runs. Leads the Cubs in stolen bases. Alex Bregman, he's hurt, but
he's been great.
938 OPS is pretty fucking good. Nick Pivetta was a part of I think they just sent him to San Diego, and they just found something in him. I'm forgetting what the trade was.
It was probably nothing major, but...
And who they got. They sent him to San Diego. Nick Pivetta is probably the second guy in that rotation, along with Michael King. 2.7 ERA. He's really found, almost like a late bloomer type. He's got a 28% strikeout percentage. Gleyber Torres in Detroit. Part of the reason why the Tigers are so good. His plate discipline has just been so much better. He's got almost a 900 OPS.
Everything switched.
Everything switched for him.
He's got no more pressure.
Jorge Polanco, 10 home runs. Almost a 900 OPS. The Mariners are looking pretty good. So, we'll see with that. I mean, I hope Max Fried wins the Cy Young. That'd be pretty fucking nice. And then last but not least, the Colorado Rockies, who we have mentioned. Yankees lost to them, fun fact.
Unbelievable, they did.
Yeah.
I can't believe you lost. And then you won by 15 the next game, which just didn't make any sense.
Scored 10 runs in the fifth inning, no big deal. They are on pace. Actually, let's just, because I feel like the data that I have is old. Worst record through 50 games since 1901. Despite what looks like their young core is okay. I like their young core. Ezekiel Tovar plays a great shortstop. Hunter Goodman's pretty good. Brenton Doyle. Jordan Beck, they're all fine players. However, ERA, team total, at the time when I typed this up, when I found out, 5.73 ERA, worst in the league. The organizational process is non-existent whatsoever. It feels like they're just a lost cause. Before the Yankee loss, Yankee win. I apologize. They were 8-42. Fourth worst record all time in that span.
They're off.
You ready?
Yeah.
You ready? 4 other teams of the 5 in that list were 19th century. The 19th century. Not even the 20th century.
No.
The 19th century. 76 Cincinnati Red Stockings were worse. 6-44. The 1895 Louisville Colonels, 7-43. The 1884 Kansas City Unions, 7-43.
Yeah, when the Unions are on a list, then you're like, Jesus Christ.
Then the Rockies at 8-42. And then the 1889 Louisville Colonels again at 8-42. So technically, at the time of this, they were tied for 4th for the worst record of that span through the first 50 games.
Yeah,
51 games.
I'm going to watch it tonight. Kyle Freeland's pitching. He's 0-7 with a 5.86, so really excited to watch that.
Yeah. But hey, we'll see. But I'm really excited for that. I'm just excited to watch some ball.
It's the only sport going to be on soon.
Yeah, soon. Well, right now it's the only sport that's on. That and College World Series.
Yeah.
I bet baseball. One game. I bet one game to Florida. I took the under 12. That shit was dead by the 4th inning.
What was the score?
Dude, it was like 11-4 ECU or something like that. And I thought college sports had college baseball had a mercy rule. I was proven wrong.
That'd be crazy if college baseball had a mercy rule. They're just like, you're at 20. Let's just call it.
Yeah. Let's see. Final score. EC 11-6. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Never taking an under in a college baseball game ever again. I don't recommend. I really don't. Binghamton scored a run against Georgia. 2 of them.
Baseball?
New York. Yeah, they're in.
The Rumble Ponies.
No, they won the America East. Yeah. So, all right. Here we go. I just got your notification, by the way. you heard that? Yep. Okay. All right, moving on. What I saw. Tim's got to go to the Met game.
And that'll be my what I saw, except this is the funniest part about it. So my dad bought these tickets for the Met game a little while ago. He was under the impression tonight was Sean Manaea jersey giveaway night. Now, Stan, if you had to take a guess, what do you think tonight's giveaway is? It is Hello Kitty bobblehead giveaway night, and they're playing the Rockies. So it's going to be the best baseball game I've ever been to. Oh, yeah.
Unreal.
I know.
Unreal. All right. I have 3 what I saw. My first what I saw. I had a wedding. Another wedding. Congratulations to my cousin Joey and his wife Nicolette.
Congratulations.
Very fun wedding. Drank a lot.
Beautiful couple.
Knicks.
Never seen them. But...
Yes. Next what I saw. The NCAA 26 trailer. It's out.
I didn't even see it.
July 10th. I saw it. They added a couple of things. Real coaches. So
okay.
Dabo, James Franklin's in there, Ryan Day,
Sarkisian.
No Bill Belichick. That has been confirmed.
He's not even in Madden.
Yeah. No Deion Sanders. That is also confirmed. Which kind of sucks, but whatever. And then my last
fire him.
Yeah, really. And my last what I saw. Did you see this, Tim? Like people need to have better situational awareness. I keep on seeing this TikTok of this airplane, and it was stuck on the tarmac for 2 hours before getting ready to take off. Delayed 2 hours. Everyone's sitting there. Everyone's freaking losing their minds. Try and guess what happens.
The way I hear this go, I have no idea.
Somehow, some way, through the grace of God, a girl, a little 12-year-old girl, hops on the intercom and starts singing How Far I'll Go from Moana.
Oh my gosh.
And everyone wanted to fucking kill themselves.
I would have literally gone insane.
I don't blame the kid.
I do.
I don't blame the kid.
I blame whoever gave him the intercom.
I blame the parents.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I understand that you think your child is special. And
they're not.
They're not. That's number 1. Number 2, what's even worse about this is that if you're you know how when you're on the tarmac, like the TVs on the plane still work.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay.
At least I can watch something. When the intercom goes on, you can't. It blocks the TV.
Can't.
Yeah.
So everyone on that plane was forced to listen to this fucking girl sing a song from a Disney movie that I've never seen. If that happened,
I would have lost my mind.
I would have. No. The funny
I would
part
have been
about
kicked
it.
off the plane.
Yes. The funny part about it is, I've seen at least like 3 different point of views on that plane. And there are people that, and now there's people that are like on planes, like using the sound of the girl singing, and it's like, no, you're not on the plane. I've seen at least 3 like actual like real.
I would just
be
sick to my stomach.
And they're sitting there, and they're like, my God.
It's like a sense of defeat.
Kill me. The worst moment, not the worst moment. I don't think and now this is going to be me jinxing myself.
I'm getting on a flight on Monday, by the way. Like, I don't.
Oh.
I'm going to
Where
Mexico.
are you going? Oh, again? Jesus.
Yeah. Family really likes going down there. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Nice. But anyway, the worst one, I think, like, people, I just, like, remember the people behind me were, like, fighting over snacks or something. I don't know. And I'm just trying to watch Sunday Night Football and watch. It was that. Do you remember that Cowboys Colts game where and it was like when the Colts had Jeff Saturday as their interim?
Yeah.
And like the Cowboys put up like 55 points on them or some shit. Yeah, it was a disaster. Worst game I think I ever watched. But yeah, they were fighting over something. There was applause. I was like, oh my God, what's happening here?
You're like, touchdown! Oh my gosh.
We have to divert? Like, this isn't shit. This isn't good.
Oh, I saw, this is the last video of planes I saw, but I saw this one plane was on air traffic control and he kept trying to land on the just try to get to the runway. And they kept making him do a loop to go back around because it wasn't open. And he's like, this is the 3rd loop I've had to do. I'm going to say it for the last time. We're low on fuel. Like, I'm landing somewhere. And the guy was like, all right, this one's open now. He's like, thank you.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. All right. Good hour. Good hour.
Episode. It was a good episode.
Very good episode. All right. That's going to wrap it up. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Be sure to like this video on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube. Be sure to leave a comment on our videos. Be sure to follow us and rate us on Spotify. 5 stars only. We will see you guys, hopefully. Well, actually, no. Yeah, me may not have one. When are you coming back from Mexico?
I got this. Also, actually, I will be back probably Friday or Saturday. So either way, we could just do it one of those days.
Bring the stuff just in case.
Oh, I'll bring it. I have to bring. I got summer homework I got to do. I got to bring my computer anyways.
Mexico. Go Knicks. We just got to win. Just focus on the present tense. Just got to win 1. Win game 6, and then game 7 can happen, and who knows what could happen there. We shall see. All right. Go Knicks. Peace out, folks.